to this course, and for a start we are going to go ahead and install Local, which is the application I mentioned in the introduction. Now Local is an application built by a company called Flywheel. Flywheel is a hosting company, and they've developed this to be able to build websites offline. Like I said, the benefit for this is that you don't have to pay for hosting. You can build your website offline and only sort the hosting out and buy your domain when you're ready to actually make it live. So you can spend the time learning, building the website, and once you're happy with what you've built, then you can transfer it to a live hosted version of websites. Now, like I say, it's built by Flywheel. However, you do not have to sign up for Flywheel hosting. You can still use any hosting company. I do have a course on getting set up with hosting correctly, and that includes getting your SSL certificate installed, which is really important, getting your business email account set up, and then getting WordPress installed on your hosting company. I'll put a link to that mini course. It's another free course, so I'll put a link to that in the comments below so you can go and check that out. So when you are ready to make your website live, you've got the steps you need to get set up with the hosting as well. And then what we basically do is, once we've got WordPress installed on our hosting, we can export the website that we've built on our local, on our computer, and then import it to our hosted version, okay? And that will make your website live on the internet. What I've also got as well, so this course, what we're going to do is get to the stage where we have WordPress up and running, so we can go ahead and start designing a website. And what I'm going to do, I've got another course, again I'll put a link in the comments below, where you can follow along, and it'll show you how to build a coaching website. Okay, so once you've got Local installed, you can then go ahead and follow the other course and learn how to build your website within WordPress. Okay, like I say, comments to both those other two, links to both those other two courses will be in the description below. Okay, so if you go to Google, you type in Local by Flywheel, or go to localwp.com, you will find where to get Local. Okay, so localwp.com, and there is a paid version of Local. However, the paid version of Local is only really relevant if you are going to be developing multiple websites and you are going to use Flywheel hosting. Okay, now I don't use Flywheel hosting, so I don't really see the need to pay for Local. The free version gives me everything I need, and we can get started with that by clicking download in the top corner here. Don't click on get started, because that will naturally take you to the paid version, or there's a link there to the download for the free version as well. So either click on that download for free, or click on the download button at the top, and it gets started. So the first thing we need to do is choose what platform we are using. They do have Linux versions as well if you happen to be using Linux. However, most of us are going to be either using Windows or a Mac. Now I'm on a Mac, so I'm going to choose a Mac. Just going to put some information in here. I don't think that any of this information is actually needed. Nope, it is. So I'm just going to put an email in here. Okay, yeah, so the telephone number is not needed. Okay, so this is quite a lengthy little file. It's 240 megabytes. Just while that's downloading, if you're using a relatively old computer, let me just go and show you some information about the specs that you need, because I have had people come to me and say they can't install this on their computer. They've been getting errors. Okay, so if you go to the help docs, and somewhere here is Local FAQ, and somewhere here, there we go, what are the minimum requirements to run Local? Okay, so just make sure that the computer you are using does meet this requirement. If you are using a Mac, you need to have 4 gigabytes of RAM, a gigabyte of disk space, and more importantly, you need to be using Mac OS 10.13 High Sierra or later. On Windows, you need 4 GB of RAM and 1 GB of disk space again, and you need to be using either Windows 7, 8 or 10. Okay, so just make sure your computer does meet these specs. Okay, so this is now installed. Sorry, this is now downloaded, so I'm just going to install this onto my computer. Drag that to there to install. Obviously, if you're in Windows, you won't have to do this action. You'll just click on install. And okay, so that's now installed. And if we go to our Launchpad, or if you're on a Windows computer, go into your Windows menu, and you will find Local is installed onto your computer. Now you may get some messages popping up with some firewall warnings, especially if you're using Windows. Just accept those messages. What it's basically going to do is going to open something in the background in your firewall so that information can pass between the internet and your computer to make your computer act like a server. Okay, so just accept any of those firewall warnings and let Local install and do its thing. Okay, so I'm going to open Local now, and we'll have a look to see what it looks like. Okay, just agree to the terms of service. Okay, so it's going to give you some information now that you can read through and just find out a little bit more about Local. Okay, we can close that down, and this is Local, so I'm just going to go ahead and enlarge this to fit the screen. Okay, I'm just going to turn on error reporting as well. Okay, so now we've got Local installed. Big message in the middle saying we haven't created any sites yet, and a big button calling us to start creating a new site. However, we're going to take a look at some of the preferences and some of the settings before we go ahead and make a start on anything. Okay, so jump on the next video, and yeah, we'll take a look and give you a bit of an overview of the dashboard.